Everybody's back now. The couple that had couple of extra days off, and the results on all the fitness testing, and it's excellent. And I didn't expect anything different. They've looked after themselves, and we're going to have a really difficult week this week, and look forward to building on the good condition that they've come back in.
A couple of players in training just now, David Gewilly and Ali Graham. How are they progressing?
Well, they've only been in one day, and again, they both look in reasonable condition as well. And we're helping David out. He's without a club. He is someone that I would like to be, in there fighting for and trying to sign. But whether we can or not will remain to be seen. But certainly, bringing him in and letting him have a look around the place as well, and getting him to know us might help us, when we are in a position to maybe sit down and talk to him. And Ali's a young player that been at Falkirk and went to Australia and scored quite a few goals, and he's in for a week's trial as well.
With David Goodwillie, how hopeful are you of tying him down for the start of the season?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it'll all come down to finance, because I think David wants somewhere where he can come and enjoy his football and play again, and I would say probably rebuild his career is a wee bit the wrong term probably, but get his career maybe on track, and I think we can offer him that. But at the minute, I will be speaking to the chairman later on today and see where we are in terms of finances, and where we can make offers to players, and we'll take it from there.
What would David Gewillie bring to the club?
Well, I think his goals in Scotland have always been he's always been a goal scorer, he's got good movement, and he's a finisher, and I think that would be the main thing that he would bring.
In terms of contract talks, yourself and Stevie May, how have they progressed?
Well, contrary to what was reported last week, Stevie's is still ongoing. There is a lot of to and fro in contract talks, and Stevie's we're expecting today to get a response from his agent, and when we get that, we'll look at that and see if we're any closer. But I keep reiterating that Stevie wants to stay, and when that's the case, it's easier to get deals done. But it does take time, and the fact that it does take time, it shouldn't worry people. I'm confident that we'll get there in the end.
Yourself?
Well, it's the same. Talks are still ongoing. The chairman, has had 2 meetings with my advisor, and we're pretty close. But at the minute, it's there's the deal hasn't been done. But again, I expect it to be done. As I say about Stevie, I want to stay, and we just have to make sure that the deal's right for me and the club.
And speaking to Donald Farquhar last week from the Thick Office, he says season tickets are up over 20% from what they were at this point last season. How positive is that?
Well, that's really positive, but the main thing is to be 20% or higher than that up when basically everybody when the season starts. But that's good, I think. Speaking to Paul Smith and the chairman, that we've about 300 new or lapsed season ticket holders have come back, so that's excellent, and that helps the club. The more people we can get in as well helps the atmosphere, but as well financially, it'll be a big boost, and I would encourage people to keep on buying and buy as many as possible.
Got a couple of friendlies coming up before the European ties. I think it's East Fife away and Raith Rovers away. How good are they going to be in terms of preparation for the European tie?
Well, I think East Fife, we played there 2 seasons ago. It's always a good pitch, and I think it's a good start for us, and we'll get a good test there. Raith proved how difficult in the cup game that we played them. So I think we're setting out in the same preparation that we had last year. 2 games. It was Cowdenbeath and Morton before the cup last year. So I'm expecting tough games, and particularly the first one. Not everybody will play 90 minutes. We'll look at getting players 245s, and I say with the fitness levels that have come back, and we'll have practice games within training as well. And we know from last season what the players need to be ready for Europe, so they'll play an important part.
Just finally, have you been watching the World Cup, and who you tipping to win it this summer?
Well, I think if I recall, I tipped Brazil, but they've been a wee bit, dodgy at the back at times, and they did struggle in their last game. So I'm not going to change. But I think the World Cup's been absolutely brilliant. I think it's been exciting. I think the emergence of countries like Costa Rica, and I know Chile have a good history in football, but I mean I've really enjoyed watching those two teams. The European teams have done reasonably well. Holland getting through, and and Germany and that. So there's I think it's building up to be an even get the tournament. I think it'll get even better. But I think it's refreshing to see that so many teams played a pressing game and played high up the pitch, and not many teams are wanting to sit in. And I've really enjoyed it. And but for Louis' moment of madness, the World Cup has been almost free events, and we're talking about all the right things.